Today, we're gonna be talking about the 5 essential movements for bodyweight strength mastery, including the pull-up, the tricep dip, the dragon flag, the Nordic Hamstring Curl, and the Sissy Squat. These 5 movements will help you grow stronger, thicker muscles, but also functional fitness and stronger joints. Let's get into our first movement. To do a pull-up, we want to first engage the shoulder blades and then pull chin over bar and lower down with control. Our shoulder blades are the foundations for the movement. So if we're a beginner and we haven't gotten our first pull-up yet, our first exercise is going to solidify those foundations with a scapula row. To perform a scapula row, we're going to hang from an object that's a little closer to the ground. Start with straight arms and up the body in a plank-like position. And we're just going to pinch the shoulder blades together and then release and repeat for reps. The shoulder blades are the foundation, so getting the movement here is key. Next up, we're going to do full body weight rows, tapping the chest to the bar, pinching the shoulder blades and releasing. This is going to allow us to build our strength at a lower intensity and higher reps. And once we've gotten used to both of those movements, we're gonna head back to our higher bar for scapula pull-ups. Overhand grip, hang, pinch, and depress the shoulder blades and repeat. Again, building up those foundations for the full pull-up. And once we can do all of those exercises at high reps, then we're gonna go for pull-up negatives. Starting with our chin over the bar, engaging the upper back, and then lowering down as slowly as we can. Last thing to the release is those shoulder blades. Repeating for reps. When you start your pull-up negatives, you'll probably only be able to do it lowering down for about 4 seconds, but your target is to be able to do 3 consecutive reps, each of those negatives taking about 6 seconds, maybe even up to 8. Okay, once you can do 3 reps, 6 to 8 seconds each, you've probably unlocked your first pull-up. Let's move on to our next strength exercise, tricep dips. Tricep dips are going to work the chest, the triceps of course, and the shoulders. Now, just like the pull-up, it takes a lot of strength to do this. So if you're a beginner, you may want to start with scapula push-ups. We can do these on the floor, either from the knees or with legs straight. Start with straight arms, pits of the elbows pointing forward. Allow the shoulder blades to pinch together, and then push the ground away and spread the shoulder blades apart. This will build up our foundational strength for pushing exercises. Next up, we can move on to elevated push-ups. You can put your hands on a bench or some elevated surface. Start in a tight plank-like position, and then bend the arms, lower the chest to whatever object you're using, and then push all the way back up, spreading the shoulder blades at the top. Once you get used to elevated push-ups, of course, you can also do push-ups on the floor. And once you're used to scapula push-ups and regular push-ups, we're gonna go back to our dip bars or our parallel bars for a dip support hold. Now for this, we're going to put all of our weight on our hands, and we're gonna make sure that our shoulders are pushed down away from our ears, our chest is engaged, and our shoulders are neutral, meaning not pinched back, okay? Not too rounded forward, but somewhere in the middle in full shoulder depression. You can hold that for time, or you can repeat this for reps. Once you've gotten good at all those ones, then we can do dip negatives. Starting at the top in a dip support hold, lowering all the way down with as much control as we can, nice and slow. And then either releasing the hands or just putting the feet down on something to stand on, going back to the top and repeating for reps. Same idea here, 3 consecutive reps of 6 to 8 seconds each is your goal to unlock your first tricep dip. Let's move on to the next exercise. The Bruce Lee inspired dragon flag. The dragon flag is a very difficult exercise for the abdominals and the core, but it does also recruit a lot of lats and pulling strength. For beginners, we're gonna start working towards the dragon flag with a tuck hollow body hold. You can do this on the floor or on a bench. What you're gonna do is stack your knees right over your hips, and you're gonna squeeze your abs hard enough that your lower back stays pressed down, and you can lift your shoulder blades and maybe lift your hips as well, arms by your side. We're gonna start to extend our lever length, making this a more difficult exercise, first with a single leg, hollow body. Then we can try a straddle hollow body. You can extend your arms over your head, and finally bring your legs together for the full hollow body hold. Once you can hold a full hollow body for an extended period of time, ideally a minute or longer, you can start to incorporate that pulling strength in by using the same lever lengths with your dragon flag. You can hold on to a bench. Sometimes I like to use stairs, or really any object that's close to the ground that's really, really stable will do. Find your tuck position, engage your core, and then pull your hips up into the air. Lower down with control. When you get good at the tuck dragon flag, you can try a single leg dragon flag. Then a straddle dragon flag. Let's see if I've still got the strength for a full, I'm cheating a little bit, full dragon flag. Oh, doing my best to control the negative there. So apply those lever lengths to the hollow body hold and then the dragon flag. And once you get good at each in high repetitions, eventually you will also be able to unlock the full version. All right, let's move on to the next strength exercise. The Nordic Hamstring Curl. Now, if you've seen my Nordic Hamstring Curl tutorial, which just came out recently, you'll know that I am actively working towards the full version of this exercise. So I'm only going to be demonstrating the negative of this movement. Again, making sure our heels are pressing against a very firm, stable object, keeping the hamstrings contracted as we slowly lower down for that controlled negative, and then however we can, getting back to the top of the position, okay? Very heavy lower body movement that's gonna grow very strong, thick hamstrings and stable knees, even work on the strength of the glutes. Now, if you're a beginner, even the negative may be outside of your reach right now. So we're gonna start with the Nordic hip hinge. For this one, our hips are gonna stay stacked over top of our knees. We're gonna press our heels into that stable object. And then we're going to hinge at the hips. We're gonna start with partial range because while this looks easy, it is in fact very difficult to keep those hamstrings engaged. And then slowly squeeze the butt and the hamstrings, bring ourselves back up to the top and repeat for reps. Over time, you can increase that range until you can get parallel to the floor or even beyond it. Squeeze the butt, come back up to the top, repeating for many reps, higher volume, lower intensity than the hamstring curl. Then once we get used to those hip hinges, we can go for that full eccentric. This time the hips stay open and all the action happens at the knee. It's gonna recruit way more of the hamstrings and make the exercise much more difficult. Aim for those 3 reps, 6 to 8 second negatives, and you'll eventually unlock the full version. Hopefully I'll be there right alongside with you. Let's move on to our final bodyweight strength exercise, the Sissy Squat. The Sissy Squat is going to recruit a lot of quadricep, or the front of the thigh, and is also going to require quite a bit of ankle mobility and control in the hips. Now, that's a big one, so beginners are going to want to start with a kneeling position and lowering down with control into what yogis call hero pose. Now, a lot of people don't have quite enough knee flexion to get there, so you can start just lowering down as low as you can comfortably, coming back up, keeping tension in the quads and in the glutes, and then eventually you'll have enough range of motion to touch butt to heels before coming back up. Then you'll be ready for reverse Nordic curls. We're gonna start in that kneeling position. This time, keep the butt squeezed and the hips open, lower back, and come all the way back up, starting with that partial range of motion, increasing the range of motion over time until eventually you can do many reps of near full range of motion, reverse Nordic curls. And once you've got that, you can come back up to standing and practice the full Sissy Squat. Really the only difference here is that there's more balance required. Now, that full Sissy Squat is a big one, so take your time, and you can also experiment with different ranges of motion to get there slowly and sustainably over time. Those are our 5 movements for bodyweight strength mastery. Let's talk a little bit about what this is going to do for you. So hopefully you'll discover that not only can you get stronger and grow stronger joints with these 5 exercises, but you'll also develop functional strength that you can apply to all kinds of athletic activities and movements of all kinds. These exercises are going to hit your entire body, so you can transfer it in many, many different ways. Also, if you want a program that puts all of these exercises and many more into full workouts, sets, reps with warm-ups and cool-downs, then please check out the Bodyweight Beginner program in the Evolution Collective. I trust you enjoyed today's video, and there's going to be many, many more to come. As always, wishing you very well.